Hello everybody! In today's video we'll be looking into subqueries and see how Active Query Builder helps users create, understand, and work more efficiently with them. Subqueries are one of the main powers of relational databases. A subquery is used when you want to use a query result in another query. Subqueries may occur in select, from, and where clauses. Usually a subquery is placed inside of where, like this. Also, it can be nested inside statements such as select, insert, update, and delete, or inside another subquery. There are three types of subqueries. The first one is derived tables, and it's wrapped in a from clause in SQL. We'll explore the other two in the next videos. An SQL query pulls data from database tables, and its result can also be represented as a table. We can use this derived table as an input source for another query. Derived tables can be useful in lots of cases. You can put one query into another just to organize your thoughts about data flow, while at other times it's mandatory to use derived tables to get the required result. Okay, let's work with an example. Here we are in the Active Query Builder environment, and we'll be using a database called AdventureWorks. The task will be to create a derived table with 100 of the most expensive orders, and then we will filter the result of this subquery by the date from within a parent query. First, click this button on the toolbar, or right-click and select New Derived Table to create a new one. Right-click and rename it to Top 100 Orders. Click on this to switch to the Derived Table view. You'll see a blank screen. Let's bring up the Sales Order Header table to start with our subquery. By switching SQL query text to the Preview tab on the bottom, we can see the raw data, which includes all sales orders. Now we need to select orders with the largest total price. Find and double-click on the Total Due field in the table to bring it down to the query columns grid. Double-clicking versus checking will keep it invisible, but we can apply sorting, grouping, criteria, etc. Now let me quickly show you what a query column grid is. It's the working area that helps us select data. If we check Visible, the result will show total due values only. If we go to the query text, you'll notice that it switches between SQL Select All and specific fields. I hope that makes it clear. So let's move on. Now to get the first 100 of the most expensive orders, we need to apply sorting in descending order. We can see it in the results preview. With that sorting applied, open the Properties pane on the right-hand side and type in 100 in the top field. It'll limit the output to 100 rows. You can see it on the Data pane because the preview area shows only 10 rows to give you a sneak peek of the results. Now we have a subquery, Top 100 Orders, sorted in descending order. To sort this result by date, we need to switch to the main query. Our derived table shows up here with the name. That's why naming is important. Double-click on Order Date and apply descending sorting as well. Note that the expression puts the derived table's name in square brackets. Check the result preview, look for the Order Date column, and yeah, we've successfully applied sorting to the result of our derived table. This was just one simple example of how derived tables can help you work with your data. Thanks to Active Query Builder, this process is very simple even for non-SQL savvy users. You get immediate feedback and convenient selection tools, and you have separate tabs for main query and subquery so it's harder to mess up. Now check out the query text generated here. It uses the from statement and then the derived table body in parentheses followed by the name of the subquery in square brackets. The main query sorting goes after and calls this derived table by name. It's easy to read and navigate if you need to apply multi-level selection and sorting. And that's it for derived tables. The next subquery type we'll be looking into is called named subquery. It's also called a common table expression, and it's somewhat similar to derived tables. To create it, we need to right-click and select Add Subquery. From the interface standpoint, it might seem that it works the same way as derived tables. That's true, however, you'll see the difference in the SQL text. Common table expressions have to be at the top of the query body before all other clauses. An SQL with clause allows you to name a subquery block. Later on, you can use it multiple times within this query. Let's see an example. Click on the Query 1 label on the top bar to switch. We'll bring up the sales order header table, but this time, let's see the orders processed by a specific person. Double-click on the salesperson ID to bring it down to the query columns grid. Remember, when you double-click, the visible flag stays turned off, which means that we're still selecting all. Set a criterion, for example, 278. As a database admin, I happen to know that this guy's name is Garrett, but you can check out a specific name by ID real quick in a linked table using Active Query Builder. Name the query because naming is never a bad idea. Now you can refer to all orders processed by this employee in multiple places of the query. To sum up, the main benefits of a named subquery are: first, better readability. It's always at the top of the query text. And second, reusability, which is great, and developers love it. And that's it. I hope you've learned something about SQL subqueries and how to create them easily in the Active Query Builder tool. In the next video, we'll talk about SQL Union. Thank you for watching and see you next time.